Ndetei.
Welcome to yet another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndetei. My name is James Okumu. This is where we get to talk about mental health issues, creating awareness so that we can kill the stigma associated with mental health issues. Now, last week, we began a brand new series looking at co-occurring situations, co-occurring disorders. This is where you have more than one disorder within the same person occurring at the same time. How do you know about it? How do you diagnose it? Is there treatment for it? Those are some of the things we are looking at. So let's move back to where we left it off last week as we continue with our discussion. Just wondering, do you have cases where you have mental health issues and addictions in the same person?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we are talking mental health condition and addiction. Maybe addiction is kind of a physical thing.
Yes.
In the sense that there are biochemical changes. Yeah. In fact, the coexistence that co-occurring is very common, but we can talk about that later on as we go along. Shall we talk about what is very relevant to me? That's mental disorders.
Mental disorder, yes.
Mental disorders.
Yes.
And we can talk about mental disorders coexisting with other mental disorders.
So several mental disorders in the same person.
Yes, or even more. We call it comorbidity. And there's a famous study that was done globally. And somebody, Ron Kessler, whom I know very well, we've been working together. We are even doing things together. He did big community epidemiological studies. Yeah. That is when you don't just go to a psychiatric hospital, you go to the communities where people don't seem to have a major psychiatric illness. They seem to be getting on with life. And they found that the coexistence of two mental disorders at the same time was very common, or even three mental disorders. Now, the two most important mental disorders that exist here, and we have known this for a long time, is depression and anxiety. They are so common.
Yes.
And I remember when I was a much young psychiatrist teaching in the university, I was asked to go and talk about mental anxiety and depression to a group of doctors here in Nairobi. And I said, looking at the literature and what people have said, these conditions, they are like two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
They coexist. What we don't know is why one leads to another. What is the directional cause? What leads one? Which one leads to the other? Which begins first?
Yeah. Okay.
And why does it lead to this one?
Yeah.
And is it that we can say this leads to this one? But is it possible that there is something common about them that we do not understand?
Okay.
And that common thing could be in genetics.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be in genetics. It could be many other things that we do not know. So we need to understand what is so common about this condition, because one of the ways of knowing the relation between people is not just to understand their behavior, because behavior is external.
Yeah, behavior is external.
Yeah, symptoms are external. Complaints are external.
Yeah.
In technical terms, we call it phenomenology or phenotypes.
Okay.
Pheno means phenomenology. Phenomenology means description of what you see or what I feel. Okay. What we cannot say is whether there is an underlying common biochemical or genetic disorder that explains this. And it's very important for us if we are able to do that, because it is in a question of time you'll be able to modify these genetic factors and possibly prevent mental illness from occurring in the first place.
I'm just wondering, when you have two mental illness conditions in one person,
Yes.
is it that they have the same symptoms, and is it easy to diagnose that it is this and this?
Yeah, it's possible. And then here we are using symptoms.
Yeah.
We are using what we can see.
What we can see, yeah.
And what we can feel.
Yeah.
Or what the patient describes to you. That's what we call phenotypes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But genotypes is what is there. There must be a common genetic predisposition, because not everybody, not all people who are exposed to the same stressors
Yes.
react in
the same way.
react very differently. You and I can be exposed to same amount of pressure or stress, which you can even quantify.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why is it that I develop complications and you don't? What differentiates that at that level?
Does nurture have anything to do with it?
Nurture.
How somebody has been raised up, yeah.
Well, that is still phenomenology.
Yeah.
That is still the environment.
Yes.
Yeah, how you've been brought up and things like that. They may modify how you feel. For example, how you've been brought up is very, very important, because here, in this context, if you go to the communities, when people have depression or have anxiety, they present with physical conditions.
Okay.
Okay, they present with physical conditions.
Yeah.
And some of these physical conditions may mimic physical disorders. For example, people may feel they are sweating, they are feeling hot in their bodies, so they have malaria. That's how they interpret, that's how they have been brought up to So quite often they go quietly and buy antimalarials for themselves.
Very true.
Yeah, because this is a way they have been brought up to interpret what they feel.
Yes.
As part of nature, the way they have been brought up. And it's very common. I mean, many people go, when they have anxiety, they don't know that is anxiety. In any case, anxiety rather is not very well understood, hence the importance of this program.
Yes.
And the people, they behave the way they feel in their bodies. So you hear many people saying, I've got malaria, I've been treated with this. Or sometimes they may present with palpitations. Palpitation, when you feel your heart is beating fast. Oh, palpitation. My heart must be going kaput.
Yeah. Yes.
So they go to see cardiologists who are obligated to do thorough investigations, or they may have headaches, and it must be there's a problem in the brain, so they go and see neurologists, and they do what they are obligated to do, because they must rule out any physical condition.
Yes.
When you sit down with these people, they are talking about heart palpitation.
Yeah.
But they will also tell you that they have headaches. If you ask. If you ask.
Yeah.
Because they say, I have a problem with the heart, sort out my heart problem. And you discover very soon that when they get palpitations, they get palpitation when they are resting.
Oh.
When they go home.
Yes.
And they are supposed to be resting. They are supposed to have peace. That is when they get those palpitations. But if it were a heart condition, they will tell you, when I do exercise, I don't seem to be getting those. And you know, when you exert your heart and there's a physical condition, that's when the symptoms are supposed to occur. But the most important thing is, you have a person who is complaining of physical conditions. But if you listen to them very carefully, and that's why taking history is very important. You people, when you go to see doctors, I'm talking to the viewers, just go and tell the doctor everything that you're feeling. Don't just focus on what you think is important.
Even if it doesn't seem related.
Even if it does not seem related. They will tell you they have headaches. They will tell you they do not sleep well. They will tell you that they are very forgettable. They will tell you that they are irritable. They will tell you this and that and that and that.
Yeah.
And what they tell you today may be a slightly different version of what they will tell you. They told you last time, and what they will tell you
next time.
It's like these symptoms are migrating from one part of the body
to another
part of the body.
Okay.
In fact, somebody called Philip Rees and one of my late teachers, Walter Osceola, described something they called Hapa syndrome. It's a Swahili word. Hapa leo, kesho pale, kesho kutwa pale. Hapa syndrome. Hapa syndrome. Daktari, leo ni hapa, kesho ni hapa, yeah. And they said, please take time when you talk to a patient, don't just go on by one symptom. Now, what are we talking about? Comorbidity of various symptoms in the same body and occurring in different parts of the body. You cannot be sick from the head to the toe and not sleeping well and quarreling with everybody and not remembering very many not eating. So it's very important that even the same person, you can have different symptoms representing the same condition, but outwardly appearing like representing different conditions.
Thank you so much. I hope that you've gained some knowledge on this amazing topic, co-occurring disorders. As always, tell a friend. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do so. Let this information spread as far wide as possible, because these are important things we are talking about. And also, I would like some feedback from you. If these segments are educative for you and they're giving you vital information and you love what we are doing, please take the time right now to give me some feedback via our SMS line. 20316 is the SMS line, and the WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. And like I always tell you, if you have some topics you would like for us to cover that we haven't covered, feel free to suggest them as well. Until next week, when we pick up from where we left off today, have yourselves a great day.
Food for Thought with Professor David Bitte.